Today we shall make a historical apple wine or hard cider, following a German recipe from the 18th century. We shall use ripe apples and allowing the mass to ferment in wood casks, as it was done in the past. No modern tricks, no precise measurements. We following the old methods and watch the flavors of the past unfold. We go deep in the past and we will see how such an easy apple like this one go to one of the most common historical drinks of the early Americans. In the 18th century, apple wine was one of the few drinks that can survive the winter unspoiled. While water was often unsafe and fresh juice quickly spoiled, must in wood cask could last for months. Thus apple wine becomes one secure and popular drink in the cold months. For this recipe today we have some apples, some tools, this bucket full of water, this bottich, you will see for this, but it's a very important step. We have this fruit press or juice press. This is not 100% historical accurate, there was a little bit different, but the only hand fruit press that is available in the moment for me. And we have this barrel here where we fill up with the juice and let them ferment in the barrel. And there is one rule: the older and often used the barrel is, the better is the apple wine on the end, or the hard cider. And many families in the Platin area in German, they have his own cask. I come from this area, but I haven't, or my family haven't, such old cask. And this is why we use this one. But before we start, I read the recipe to you. This historical recipe calls: gather ripe apples and crush them in a vat. Let the mass stand for several hours, then press the apples. Leave the juice in clean casks and let them ferment naturally. When fermentation has finished, throw off the wine from the lass and place them in a cold location. In some regions, the apples are left for several days before the pressing, so that the juice yields a sweeter, more wine-like character. Should the fruit be too sour, add a little bit water or sugar. The recipe sounds very easy, but there is some tricks to get a really good apple wine. It was a little bit different from city to city, but the main goal is to get a really good apple juice. And this isn't just to take some apple and press them. You need to combine some apple types. The best way, you add 3 or more apples with different characters. Every apple has its own character, and it doesn't matter how it looks outside. The best apple that I use today, the really little one, and I need a lot of them to get the same amount of juice like the big one. But to combine it is important to know what's the character of the apple. You need to taste them and then mix a combination you like, from really sweet apple, like this one. And I have here a second kind, they are very sweet too. Then I have a sour kind of apples, this is this kind. And then the most important apple is this one. This is another kind, I don't know the name. And this is very fruity taste, and I need to combine them like my taste. If it's not sour enough, the wine don't taste. It is too sour, it don't taste. It is too less sugar, I have a lower percentage of alcohol. With more sugar I get more alcohol, but the main goal is the big or good taste. And this is the apple that I want to use for this, and I will combine them like I like it. I do like 15 to 20% of the taste apple and 20% of the sour apple, and the rest will more like the sweet apples. But this is my combination that I like, or I hope I like. Maybe I will by breathing and deciding raise or go left with one of the type of the apples, but you need to choose this by yourself. I don't want to have dirt in my apple wine, and for this, in the first step, I clean the apples and put them in the bucket full of water. And the goal is only to clean them from the dirt, because some apples was falling on the ground, but I don't want to rub them that they are 100% clean, because on the peel of the apple there is the yeast, and this yeast is very important for the fermentation later. And the clean apple, I put them in the bottich and smash them. And it needs a little bit time to smash them and let them stand for 1 hour. After smashing the apples, I start to press them. For this, I put the apple in my press and put them down a little bit, that they can go down and a little bit juice come out. Then I fill it up again, that I get so much apple in the press that I can do. Before we even start to press, the weight of the apples press the first juice out of the apples. And I collect a little bit, and this is the right moment to drink a little bit fresh apple juice. For tasting, but also just for tasty. Then I start the pressing and pour out the water. Every time when my bowl is full, I go to the barrel and fill it up. My first try was to put a linen cloth or kitchen cloth on top and put it in that they can filter out the big particles and parts of apples. But it don't function. I make a big mess, and then I have decided just to go with my little bowl and pour everything immediately in the cask. When I can't press out more juice, then I open my press, put on some wood and press it down again to get more juice out of my apples. This here called apple cake or pressed cake, we call this in Germany. And what I do by big batches, it means 5 gallon or more volume the get in the press. It means really big presses. I take the cake out, mix them with other cake and loose them again with the hands, that everything is loose again, put them back in the press and press it again. And it means like 10% extra juice. And the people back then have done this too, in the 18th century, because the extra juice is allowed. For 1 liter, 10% extra. Or for 1 gallon, 10% of a gallon extra. But for the small amount that I have, or what I do today, the work is not worth to do this again. And for this, I put them immediately on the trash. I have done this exactly 5 times to get a full barrel of apple juice. What is special to know with the fermenting in the barrel, I get a special taste you can never get if you ferment it in glass or a stoneware. You need to ferment it in wood casks to get the special taste. This barrel is full of fresh apple juice. It is around 2.5 gallons as a small batch. And now it needs to start to ferment, and we need to do nothing about this because on the peel on the apples there was enough yeast to ferment. And what we now need to do, let them stand until it is finished. What I do here, I put this on top like this, but never push this down. If I push it down, I will close it and there will come pressure in this barrel and it will push it out and it will like an explosion. And this is important. What they do back then, they put a little bit cloth on top and push it down a little bit, but there is enough space that there can come out. The modern way is to make an airlock on top and let it ferment. Hard cider is not the only interesting alcoholic drink from the 18th century. Another one is mead. It was not so popular, but there's very interesting recipes too. And in this video I have produced a meat with a recipe from 717. It was very delicious and I make it also with the historical methods.